Chris Buescher wins the demolition derby that was Bristol. Let's talk about it. Coming up next. What's going on, everybody? Hope you're doing good today. And got my Chris Buescher shirt on. Of course, I've got a Chris Buescher shirt. Gonna have to go to RFK in the off season and get a new one. But Chris Buescher wins his first race for RFK. RFK's first win, his second win overall in his career. And it finally gets rid of that narrative of, oh, he's only won a fog race. He definitely won this race, and they did it with a two-tire strategy, staying out or getting two tires on that last pit stop when everybody else got four. Tire fall off wasn't a huge deal, so it was a great move strategically from them to get that win. And even with the older tires, he pulled away anyway. So they had a good car. RFK came with really good equipment. Brad Keselowski won that first stage, led a bunch of laps. Unfortunately, had a tire go down, which brought out that last caution. So was a good day for them overall, even though BK didn't get the finish he wanted. The team overall did what they came to do. They won a race, and it sort of gets rid of this mythos of RFK, the place where careers go to die. I've seen that a million times on social media. RFK, the place where careers go to die. Well, the first half of the season, they weren't making a whole lot of progress, but then about midway through the season, they started being competitive at road courses, and it looks like Brad Keselowski, he has come and he has brought the right people and put the right people in place to make RFK a really competitive, good race car team again. This new car definitely helps. 19th different winner on the season, ties the record from 2001 or 2004, somewhere in there, early 2000s, I know that, but ties the record. If we get another winner, that will break the record, so this could be a very wild season. So for all the bad things about the new car, there is definitely one good thing. It has given us 19 different winners. Now I'm going to make a whole separate video about how the car held up, all the controversy at Bristol, the tires, everything else. I'm going to make that a whole separate video, but I wanted this video to be specifically about the winner because I feel like a lot of times we get caught up in the negative. I wanted to celebrate Chris Buescher, and I wanted to celebrate RFK for getting this win because, like I said, they got that stigma off their back. Chris Buescher carried that fog win. Everybody doubted him because he only had one win, and it was because of fog. When in actuality, he's a very talented driver that has been with teams. He got with teams at the wrong time. We've seen JTG Doherty win races on road courses with other guys, but the time he was at JTG Doherty, they did not have that type of equipment. They didn't have that winning type of equipment. Then he goes over to Roush. Looked like Roush was sort of on a come up over there, but when he gets to Roush, Roush goes back into a slump. So he's been a guy that has been with the wrong team his whole career, but he has definitely been very, very talented. And he finally got a chance, at least the last half of this season, to show that talent. And he finally broke through and got a very convincing win, so nobody can hang that, oh, he's just won a fog race over his head, and nobody can say anymore RFK is where careers go to die because they have been very competitive the second half of the season, and next year, going forward, it should be very interesting. All right, now on to guys who had a good race. Let's take a look at that top 10. Chris Buescher finishing first, of course, getting RFK their first win. Chase Elliott finishes second. He had a very consistent night, but never was really up there contending for the lead. William Byron, he turned it on late. He sort of ran mid-pack throughout the entire race. In fact, the Hendrick cars just it looked like they had a very conservative tire setup because they were worried about the tires blowing out. So they had a conservative setup. They were fast, but never showed race-winning speed. Christopher Bell had a really fast car, but was mired back in traffic. Kyle Larson had a decent car, but once again, he was one of those Hendrick cars on the conservative side of things. Ross Chastain with a nice, good finish. Didn't hear a lot from him tonight. Sort of kept his nose clean, stayed out of controversy, which was good. AJ Allmendinger, he just slides in there. Didn't really talk about him all race, but there's AJ Allmendinger. Cole Custer with another good run, so good for him. He's had a very bad season as far as luck goes and his finishes, so it's good to see Cole Custer get in there and get a top 10. And Denny Hamlin, he finishes ninth. He blew a tire out, right front tire, early in the race, so surprisingly he was able to get back up there. And Kevin Harvick, a little too late. Good run for Kevin Harvick, but obviously him missing the playoffs is bittersweet. So good top 10 for Harvick, but he is out of the playoffs. Now on to bad race. Of course, you have to say it is a bad race for all four of the guys who didn't make the cut. Bad race for Kyle Busch, blows a motor, doesn't make it. Kevin Harvick finished 10th, but he was just so far behind. It was too little, too late for them, unfortunately. And then Austin Dillon and Tyler Reddick got caught up in that wreck with Daniel Suarez, so that ended their chances at advancing in the playoffs. Daniel Suarez did advance despite that wreck, so Daniel Suarez was able to recover from it. Unfortunately, the two RCR cars did not recover from it. And you also have to say it was a bad race for Toyota. Toyota, not only did Kyle Busch blow his engine, but also they had a lot of steering problems. You saw Martin Truex Jr. flip off the car, which was pretty funny, and I'm sure he gave it a good cussing. That is proper technique when a part fails. You got to flip it off, then give it a good cussing so it knows not to act up again. Then also you had Ford with all of the blown right front tires. Ford wasn't the only manufacturer that had blown right front tires, but it seemed to affect the Ford cars and the Penske cars in particular more so than other cars, but those were definitely all of your guys with bad races. Now let's take a look at your playoff picture. After the reset, once again, Chase Elliott leads the way with 30-40 on the points. Joey Logano there with 3,025. Ross Chastain, Kyle Larson, William Byron, Denny Hamlin, Christopher Bell, Ryan Blaney, Chase Briscoe, Alex Bowman, Daniel Suarez, and Austin Cindric are your 12 that make it to the next round. And like I said earlier, Tyler Reddick, Kyle Busch, Austin Dillon, and Kevin Harvick all miss the cut. So there you have it. 6 Chevys, 4 Fords, and 2 Toyotas will be the last 12 in. So it'll be very interesting. A pretty good, other than the 6 Chevys, it's a pretty good mix of drivers in there. And those 6 Chevys, well, 4 of them are all from the same team. So really it's Hendrick and the other guys. So we will have to see what that is going forward. But it's been interesting. Hendrick has been consistent, but they have not had race-winning speed since the playoffs started. And these other teams have had race-winning speed, but sort of some bad luck. I would actually have to say Joe Gibbs Racing has looked the fastest since the playoffs have started of the playoff contenders, but it's also very interesting that the playoff drivers have been shut out in the first round by the non-playoff drivers. So it'll be interesting to watch going forward. But that's all I've got for you for this one. There is another video coming out later today that I will talk about all of the carnage from Bristol. I wanted this to be the focus on Chase Buescher because he did win the race. But look for that video coming up. If you like the content, feel free to subscribe down below. If you're not already subscribed, I appreciate that. It helps the channel out a whole lot. And if you got a comment, question, leave it down in the comment section. I'll try to get to as many as I can. And other than that, thanks for your time. Peace.